these 5 points. Number 1. Should I quiz you guys? What's number 1? No, that's not number 1. Number 1, Islamic knowledge. Learn. Number 2, paradigm shift. Look at those above you in the religion and beneath you in the dunya. Number 3, companionship. Number 4, always think of the akhirah. Always think of Allah Azza wa Jal, meeting Allah, death. And number 5, constant dua, constant sincerity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I conclude by one of the reminders that our sheikhs gave, that I graduated from the College of Hadith. As you know, we read the books of Hadith in college. So we came across the Hadith Abu Dawood, in Sunan Abu Dawood, where the Prophet ﷺ said that, it's a famous Hadith, all of you know this, after every 100 years, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send a mujaddid who will yujaddidu hadha al-amr, who will revive this religion. Now I want to clarify, a lot of people misunderstand. Yujaddid means to polish and clean and bring back shining as it used to be. Yujaddid doesn't mean to change. Yujaddid means to go back to the original. Jaddada, make it new again. Right? You polish it, you clean it, you make it new again. So he's going to revive the ummah. Right? Man yujaddidu hadha ad-din. And so we expect every 100 years that Allah Azza wa Jalla will send. Now by the way, I just want to say a little bit of academic. Some people say that we shouldn't understand this to be only one person, but rather a group of people, maybe every community, one person. It doesn't have to be in the whole world, one person. And other people say, no, in the whole world, one person. But the difference is a little bit trivial in that, it's one person in a community or in a nation versus one person in the ummah. It's very few people, that's the point. If not one, maybe 5, 10 people, right? So after every 100 years, Allah will preserve this religion by sending forth a mujaddid. Now, the Shaykh paused and he looked at us and he goes, what's the first question everybody thinks about when I mention this hadith? So we raised our hands, we said, Shaykh, who's the mujaddid of our times? That's what we're wondering, right? If every era has a mujaddid, who's the mujaddid of our times? The Shaykh said, aha, that is your problem. That's your mistake right there. Why did you automatically assume that somebody else would be the mujaddid? And why didn't you say, oh Allah, make me the mujaddid of this century? I'll never forget this when he said this, because wallahi, nobody amongst us was thinking along those lines. He goes, you've already sold yourself short. You've already given up. You've already lowered the bar. Okay, maybe you won't. He didn't say this, and I'm adding, maybe you won't become the mujaddid. But guess what? Suppose you made dua to Allah, and suppose you strove to be that person. If you failed, you might have changed the course of Islamic history by reviving an entire nation. You might not be the mujaddid. You'll be one level beneath him. That failure is the best success for your entire legacy. You see my point here, right? You shortchanged yourself. You passed the buck. Somebody else is going to be the mujaddid. Why didn't you automatically say, oh Allah, make me that mujaddid? Why are you shortchanging yourself? After all, somebody is going to be the mujaddid, right? Why can't you aim for that? And subhanAllah, brothers and sisters, that is